Hey everybody, this is the Bearded Prepper here, coming back to you from my fallback location. I had promised you previously that I would come out with a video and do a little more research on electric vehicles and that movement, and this is that video. So we have a whole lot of people, a lot of folks saying that electric vehicles are the way to go. They're going to save us money, they're going to save the planet. Just have everyone's best interest at heart. But you know, those same people are the ones that are telling us it's going to be cheaper to have electric vehicles, which it's not. And they're also the same people telling us, we're not in a recession. I don't know what you're talking about. Those experts don't know what they're talking about. Our experts say we're not in a recession. Oh, and by the way, gasoline's so expensive and inflation is taking off because of Russia. It's Russia's fault. It's Putin's fault. Not our fault that your groceries are more expensive. So you choose for yourself. For me, I'm going to choose to not necessarily swallow that and believe the people that are treating me like a fool, like I don't have common sense. I'm going to do my own due diligence and my own research. So, you know, beyond zero emissions, the first thing that always comes up with electric cars is that they're going to save you money. They don't cost as much. But you know, so I started looking at that, and I figure, based on my research, the average person spends about $1,100 a year on fuel for a gasoline car. And when you look at the electric vehicle, it does only cost about $600 a year on average to charge it up if you use your home. Now that's excluding public charging stations. They always charge a lot more, sometimes 2 or 3 times as much to use their plug. So let's just exclude those. So you know, right there, that's about $500 a year less expensive. If we stop there and only use that information, we could say that they were right. But you know, such is the case when anyone's trying to trick you. They only use the part of the information that supports their point of view, and they leave off the important details that may be in the fine print, or that come back to bite you and say, we didn't think about that. So we're looking at about $500 a year less to fuel that vehicle. All right. But then the thing they don't include is the fact that electric vehicles on average cost about $10,000 more. So the lifespan of those batteries is about 10 years. Let's say that you keep that electric car 10 years. That's $1,000 a year more that you'd be paying for that vehicle versus the gasoline vehicle. So, you know, you subtract out the savings of $500 away from that, you're already $500 a year more expensive with an electric vehicle. So that kind of blows that theory out of the water. But you know, I didn't stop there. I continued my research, and I figured, okay, so you're $500 a year more expensive on just fuel cost and the cost of the vehicle, you know, the price tag of the vehicle. But then what about repairs? No one ever talks about repairs on electric vehicles. According to Forbes, the average cost to repair an electric vehicle is about $4,041. You know, I don't know about you, but whenever I have something go wrong with my vehicle, it's rarely that much, especially if it's a new vehicle. You know, within the first 10 years, I don't know if you would have a major repair that much. You might not. If you take care of it, maintain it, probably not. Granted, you can say, okay, there's the cost of maintaining oil changes and stuff like that. But you know what? People like me that do my own oil changes, there's no way I'll put that even close to that amount in oil changes and maintaining the vehicle. But it doesn't include other hidden costs, like the cost of insurance is generally more expensive with an electric vehicle because the price is higher, the value, the sales price is higher, and also the cost of repairs are more. So they usually charge more for the insurance on electric vehicles also. And as I mentioned, that battery only lasts about 10 years or so. Batteries can be as much as $20,000. $20,000 if your battery goes bad. So, granted, most of them probably don't cost that much, but let's say it's only $14,000. It's an expensive battery, folks. Not to mention the fact that, you know, you've got to install a charging outlet in your house, in your garage, or wherever to charge this vehicle. That costs about $2,000 as well. So the price ticket just keeps going up, folks. You know, and the other thing with electric cars that I found out, I didn't know this before my research, the tires only last about 80% as long as a gasoline vehicle. They last 20% less than a regular vehicle. So, you know, it's just one thing after another here that keeps adding up. There's no way anybody with any common sense can say, oh yeah, they're more cost effective, they're cheaper. They're not. But, you know, let me ask you, what's your time worth? That's right, your time. So let's say you're going to take a road trip with your family. Every 200 to maybe, if you get a really good one, 300 miles, you've got to stop to recharge. That's all you get out of them. That's a lot of stops. Can you imagine taking your family on a road trip, having to stop for up to 40 minutes? If there's a charging station available, if you don't have to wait, 40 minutes of charging time every 200 to 300 miles. That's an awfully long road trip, folks. So, you know, beyond that, do we really want the government telling us what we need to drive? I mean, to me, that's like opening Pandora's box. I mean, what comes next? Do they say, oh, you don't need to eat the beef and the chicken or the pork? You need to eat the insects. The insect protein is much better for you. It's packed with more protein and it's saving the planet. You know, the cows aren't passing gas because they're eating the food. It's going to save the planet. You need to eat insects. Hey, how about all the folks with a smart thermostat in your house? The one that connects to the internet. The one they give you a discount for using because it's more efficient. What if they tap into your Wi-Fi thermostat and say, no, your house needs to be 80 degrees. There's too much energy consumption going on right now. You want them deciding how warm your house is or how cold your house is in the winter? What about what kind of weapons you can own to defend yourself, to keep yourself safe? You shouldn't have those dangerous weapons because, you know, those just aren't safe. Criminals are going to get them, but, you know, you can't have them. Law-abiding citizens, you shouldn't have them. We're going to tell you can't have them. So what about how many kids you're allowed to have? You know, there's too many people. There's not enough housing. There's not enough food to go around. Or hey, how about this? There's not enough energy to support that many people because it takes a lot more energy to charge an electric vehicle for every person that currently has a car. Our grid is not made to support that. So you can only have so many kids. You can't exceed that. Does that sound crazy to you? But you know, that's what China did. China limited their citizens, said you can only have two. And, you know, when you think about it, communism doesn't just happen overnight. It's one step at a time. It's one thing at a time. You lose one freedom at a time. And they guide you to the way of thinking they want you to go to. So, you know, folks, I tell you, it's time to stand firm on your freedoms. Exercise your freedoms. If you're of voting age, get out and vote. If you're not registered, get registered. Vote for common sense candidates, the people that are making our laws, and hold them accountable. Exercise your freedoms while you're still allowed to, and be prepared as much as possible. And when they tell you that you're going to have to convert to something, check it out, folks. There's usually a lot more to the situation than what they're telling you. And check their facts, because there's usually a lot more to it than what they're telling you. But with this current push and the way we're seeing things change, and the way we're seeing agendas forced on the populace, the way we have over the past few years, if that doesn't get you charged up to start prepping, I don't know what it's going to take, folks. Don't delay. Make sure you're prepared. Make sure you know your Lord and Savior and you're seeking God's wisdom every day. And make sure that you're taking care of what you need to take care of to keep your family safe and to provide for your family if things get a lot harder than what we're seeing now, or if they tell us we can't have the things that we have become accustomed and feel like we need. So, love to hear your thoughts. Subscribe if you haven't. Until the next time, I'm the Bearded Prepper, Out.